evening. Welcome back to Roslyn Court. My name's Morag Butler, and this evening we have Enda McCabe. We've also got Warren Bird, who's going to play for us. And before that, we've got one of our very sort of our community slots. So somebody's going to talk to you about something, what they do in the community for 2 minutes. But before that, just to let you know, you're all in the raffle. And today's raffle is rather exciting because Enda was interested in, not a jet ski, no, not this time, no. But Enda was quite interested in the idea of what we do for a raffle. So I said, if you could provide a CD for the first prize, that would be lovely. And then for the second prize, we give a Who Gives a Crap toilet roll. And he said, he said, so this week we have the first prize is a CD from Enda McCabe. The second prize is a Who Gives a Crap toilet roll and a CD from Enda McCabe. Good. Yeah. So I'm just going to hand over this microphone to someone who is helpfully the same height as me, called Susie Humphreys. And she's from an organisation called Looping the Loop, who have their meetings here. They are the most glorious group. They're wonderful. They're very noisy, but they're very enthusiastic. They're wonderful, and she's going to tell you all about them in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. I'm Susie, and thank you so much, Morag, for suggesting you put me through this trial. I've worked in theatre all my life. My partner in crime at Looping the Loop, Ellie, also has, and we are living proof that theatre transforms lives and transforms people. We were very recently offered by Kent County Council and the NHS Medway in Kent £7,000 towards starting a new youth theatre, an inclusive youth theatre for young people 7 to 18 here in Thanet. The previous youth theatre had to close long ago because of money hemorrhaging after the Theatre Royal Margate finally closed. Our deal is that we have to raise £4,000 to match the £7,000 that they're willing to give us, and we have till next Thursday to do it. We've been working on it for 3 weeks. We are 82% of the way there. It's all or nothing. If we don't reach it, we don't get any of that money, so no youth theatre will happen. But at the moment, we are asking if you will help us to start the youth theatre on the week of the 15th of April and support up to 60 young people throughout the course of this year who will put in £1 a week if they can afford it. So it is completely available to any young person between 7 and 18 in Thanet. And I did that so you can flash, and Morag can flash later, can't you? And if you were willing to help us, it would be great. The whole idea with things like this is that if 1,000 people gave you £1 each, then you've made your goal. So if you're willing to look on our website, it's on Space Hive, Looping the Loop. Even £1 will make a difference. So thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. That's great. Okay, now it's time for Warren Bird to take the stage. So please can you welcome her all the way from over there to over here. And, yep, brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks, Morag. Hi, everyone. I'll just play a couple of tunes to kick off. Hopefully not knock over that microphone. It's coming a bit close. So I'll play, I think I'll play a couple of jigs. I don't know the names because I never know the names of anything, but they're from a Josephine Marsh album that I listened to a lot when I was very young. Really beautiful accordion player from County Clare, I believe, in Ireland.
Lovely. Moore and Bird, everybody. Hey. Thank you. Okay, it's time to introduce onto the stage Enda McCabe. Hey. Watch out for that one. It's vicious.
Morning. It's wonderful to be here. I have to say, what a welcome I got when I came through the door. And then when I walked into this gorgeous, welcoming space, isn't it lovely? Absolutely gorgeous. So listen, I hope you, and thank you all for coming out. It's great to see you all. Hope you're going to enjoy what I have on offer. We'll just see what we can do. I'm going to start with, some of you might have heard me do this one before. I got this one from Chris Wood. You know the great Chris Wood? And he does it with fiddle and voice. And I always thought it was called How Do You Know? And I thought it was one of Chris Wood's songs, but it turns out it's called the Tewas song and written by a guy called Zach Zimmerman. No relation to Bob. But anyway, at least I don't think it's a relation to Bob. Anyway, but as far as I'm concerned, on my album, Kills the Kitchen or Music in the Kitchen, it's there as How Do You Know? And it'll always be How Do You Know to me. So here we go. And there is a chorus, and the chorus goes, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? Do you think I might remember that one? Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. Once was a farmer, and he had a son. He sent him into the mountains with a horse to graze. The boy fell asleep. When he woke, the horse was gone. So he went home alone, and all the neighbors said, what bad luck. And the farmer said, how do you know? How do you know? He said, how do you know? How do you know? Do you want to give that another go? How do you know? How do you know? He said, how do you know? How do you know? And the very next day, the farmer sent his son into the mountains to try to find that horse again. He found the horse and 7 other horses too, and he took them home, and all the neighbors said, what good luck. And the farmer said, how do you know? How do you know? He said, how do you know? How do you know? Well done. And the very next day, the farmer sent his son into a field to try to tame those horses there. First one he tried, well, it threw him to the ground, and he broke his arm, and all the neighbors said, what bad luck. And the farmer said, how do you know? How do you know? He said, how do you know? How do you know? The very next day, there was a war declared, and the soldiers came marching to the countryside. They were looking for men, but they couldn't take anyone who had a broken arm. And all the neighbors said, what good luck. And the farmer said, how do you know? How do you know? He said, how do you know? How do you know? And the very next day, the farmer sent his son into the mountains with a horse to graze. The boy fell asleep. When he woke, the horse was gone. So he went home alone. And all the neighbors said, what bad luck. And the farmer said, how do you know? How do you know? He said, how do you know? How do you know? He said, how do you know? How do you know? He says, how do you know? How do you know? Thank you. Thank you very much. And listen, thank you very much for singing. It's a great thing when you hear people singing with you. You know, it gives you a lift. I wrote this next song for my two daughters. I live in Spiddle in County Galway now. I'm originally from Dublin, but I lived in Faversham in Kent, in this county, lovely county, for over 20 years, and that's where I brought my daughters up. And I mean, they're second generation Irish. They're Irish girls, right? And are Irish to the core. But of course, and as far as our neighbours in Faversham were concerned, they were Irish, you know, the same as us. You know, they had a different accent, but that was okay. When we went home on holidays, all the people there didn't see Irish people. They heard two English girls. And this didn't sit well with my daughters, I can tell you, you know. And they'd say, you're English? No, we're actually from England. And I thought that was really subtle, you know, that small girls could actually make that distinction of being from somewhere, but not being it, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I wrote this song for them, and it's called. By the way, I'm sure there's second generation Irish people here. Are there third generation Irish? First generation. First. Oh, well done. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But if you've got kids here, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And so anyway, this is for them, and it's for all people. I don't know how far back you go. It doesn't really matter, because as far as I'm concerned, you're all Irish. You know? Yeah. So here we go. Oh, there is a chorus, but there's a lot of words in it. So if you, the last line of the chorus says, maybe if my skin is green, then as Irish I'd be seen, right? But anyway, if you know the chorus. And by the way, if you know any of the songs, sing along with me, I don't mind, you know? I need all the help I can get. My great-grandmother's granddad died in Ireland on a mountainside. His wife, 3 daughters fair all cried as they buried him on a cold hillside. All he did was try to save the widow's cow from those bailiffs' knaves. Now you know the reason why you carry his name con so high. And I'm as Irish as can be, and in my bones I feel it. I have no choice, it's inside of me. I didn't have to steal it. I was born and raised far o'er the sea, and I wanted Ireland to be free. Maybe if my skin was green, then as Irish I'd be seen. My granny and my granddad's mums both told us tales of the blackened hands, tales of stopping, pointing arms, even searching the baby's prams. They made my great-grandmother cry, and they made my granddad wonder why all these people from a foreign land would try to rule us with an iron hand. And I'm as Irish as can be, and in my bones I feel it. I have no choice, it's inside of me. I didn't have to steal it. I was born and raised far o'er the sea, and I wanted Ireland to be free. Maybe if my skin was green, then as Irish I'd be seen. Well done. My granny and my granddad came from Ireland to escape the shame of unemployment and the stain of signing on and folks' disdain. They toiled and laboured over here so we could go home every year to see our aunts and uncles there and friends and neighbours of good cheer. And I'm as Irish as can be, and in my bones I feel it. I have no choice, it's inside of me. I didn't have to steal it. I was born and raised far o'er the sea, and I wanted Ireland to be free. Maybe if my skin was green, then as Irish I'd be seen. So now I see my cousins here. Oh, they're big and brave and they'll hide the fears of being away from home so long, and to stay in touch they'll sing the songs. If they have sons and daughters fair, will they be Irish over there? Maybe if their skin was green, then as Irish they'd be seen. 'Cause they're as Irish as can be, and in their bones they feel it. They have no choice, it's inside of them. They didn't have to steal it. Oh, they're born and raised far o'er the sea, and they still want Ireland to be free. Maybe if their skin was green, then as Irish they'd be seen. And I'm as Irish as can be, and in my bones I feel it. I have no choice, it's inside of me. I didn't have to steal it. I was born and raised far o'er the sea, and I wanted Ireland to be free. Maybe if my skin was green, then as Irish I'd be seen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you know what? Sometimes I don't look at a list, and sometimes I do. And then I think when I look at the list, where are my glasses? And that's one of those times. But fortunately, I wrote the list in a big round hand. So I can, no, I don't want that, do I? I want this. So I can kind of see most of the things I've written, but not all. So I might be asking for a volunteer from the audience, and a volunteer from the audience to come up and read for me. You know, mind you, that might be a mistake, because it'll show everybody how awful my handwriting is. But anyway, I'm going to do... This one's got a chorus. Quite a few of my songs have choruses. Now, this isn't one of mine. I think this was done by... originally by a guy called Danny Doyle. And I think Dervish have done a version of this as well. Yeah. And the chorus goes... Keep your hands off red-haired Mary. She and I are to be wed. We will see the priest this very morn. Tonight we'll lie in the marriage bed. Do you want to try it? Hey! Keep your hands off red-haired Mary. She and I are to be wed. We will see the priest this very morn. Tonight we'll lie in the marriage bed. As I was going to the fair at Dingle one fine morning in July, I spied a maid, I went beside her, red-haired Mary, I did cry. If you come with me red-haired Mary, me donkey he can carry too. She looked at me, her eyes a twinkle, her cheeks they had a rosy hue. "I thank you kindly, sir," she answered. Then she shook her bright red hair. Says he, "If you will hold the donkey, I'll ride with you to the Dingle Fair." When we reached the town of Dingle, I took her hand for to say goodbye. A tinker, he came up behind me, hit me right in my left eye. Keep your hands off red-haired Mary. She and I are to be wed. We will see the priest this very morn. Tonight we'll lie in the marriage bed. Well, I was feeling kind of peevish, my poor eye was sad and sore. So I kicked the tinker with me hobnails, knocked him through Tom Murphy's door. And then off I went to see his father, the biggest man you e'er did see. I tapped him gently with me knuckles, now he's missing two from teeth. Wasn't she the happy Colleen man? With you I'll go, she said. Never mind the priest this very morn. Tonight we'll sleep in Murphy's shed. Take your hands off red-haired Mary. She and I are to be wed. We will see the priest this very morn. Tonight we'll lie in the marriage bed. Round the corner came the peeler, told me I had broke the law. The donkey kicked him in his knee, he fell down and broke his jaw. Arm in arm at the fair at Dingle, my black eye and her red hair, smiling gaily at the tinker, weren't we the happy pair? Take your hands off red-haired Mary, she and I are to be wed. We will see the priest this very morn. Tonight you'll lie in the marriage bed. Keep your hands off red-haired Mary, she and I are to be wed. We will see the priest this very morn. Tonight we'll lie in the marriage bed. Keep your hands off red-haired Mary, she and I are to be wed. We will see the priest this very morn. Tonight we'll lie in the marriage bed. Thank you, and thanks again for singing. It's great when, just great having people singing with you, isn't it? Fabulous. I'm going to consult my list again. And do you know what? The eyes are standing up, you know. They're standing up very well. Oh, yeah. Oh, sure, geez, we've got loads of time. I can do all these, I think. Geez, I might have to do all these, you know. You've all probably heard my story of my Holy Communion, have you? You haven't? I suppose I better tell it so. I made my Holy Communion in 1961. Now, I know what you're all saying. You can't be that old. But I'm afraid I am. And anyway, I was the eldest in my house, right? And as naive and as innocent as you could be, I knew nothing about anything, I can promise you. And I didn't even know what a communion was, because I'd no older brothers and sisters, you know, to learn from. And I said to the fellow next to me, "What's this communion lark?" And he said to me, "Well, my brother made his communion last year," he said. And after he made his communion, they came home from the church and we had a big breakfast, fry and all that. You know, you normally only have a fry on a Sunday, but this, well, in our house anyway, but this was a Saturday and they were having a fry. I thought, this sounds good. And then he said, my brother went off to visit me aunties and uncles. And he came back with loads of money. Well, you know something? I was really looking forward to my communion. So, the day was approaching. And of course, there was no Sunday school for this. This was all done in school. And it seemed like all the other lessons were out the window, you know, because we had to be ready to make our Holy Communion, you know, because somebody might ask us a question and we couldn't get it wrong. Probably a couple of weeks or a week before the big day, I was taken into town, got the new suit, and of course I had the suit and the jacket, and of course they had short trousers, and of course the long socks, you know. And then we had to get the shoes, and we went into Clark's. And does anybody remember going into Clark's for the shoes in those days? Now, does anybody here remember sticking their feet into the X-ray machine? Anybody remember that? No health and safety, was there? But of course, the benefit of, the beauty of that was you could see what was going on when you put the new shoes on. And there had to be growing room, didn't there? There had to be lots of growing room, you know, because we couldn't be having shoes every week, you know. So anyway, that's what happened, in and shoes. And you know, I probably looked all right in it, you know. So the big day came. And I was washed and scrubbed, and my suit put on me, the socks, the shoes. And I have to say, looking back at the pictures, I looked like an angel. And when I made my communion, I actually felt like an angel. And when we came home, yes, we had the big breakfast. And then we went to visit all the aunts and uncles. Now, my part was very clear. I was to present myself looking angelic and sweet, with the toothless smile, which you have to have at 7, don't you? And their job was to stick their hands in their pockets and take out shillings, 2 shilling pieces, even half crowns. And then we went to see my great-grandmother, who was in Kappa Hospital in Finglas. And that's where all the better off side of the family were. The rich side of the family. And do you know what I got there? I got some 10 shilling notes. Goodness. So my dad had taken me all around. Right? So we got home, and my dad deposited me with my mother, and I had 2 sisters at the time. And off we went. Off he went to the pub, and I was left with my mother, and we counted out the money, And it was £6.13 and fourpence. My mother says, Enda, what are you going to do with all that money? I said, no, mistake number one. I said, I don't know, Ma. And how would I know? I'd never seen £6.13 and fourpence, let alone own £6.13 and fourpence. So she said, how would you like a new baby? I said, a what? And she said, how would you like a new baby? And I said, I'm hooked now. I'm hooked. I can't get off the hook. I said, would it be a boy or a girl? There's no going back now, is there? She said, well, it might be a boy or it could be a girl. You'd have to take what you get. And I said, I can still remember it. I said, how much would one of those cost? And she said, you'd probably get one for about £6. And I said, okay. So I got 13 and fourpence, and about 6 weeks later, I got a new baby brother. Yeah.
I'm just going to interrupt just for 1 minute to speak to the people at home, speak to our viewers at home, and please, if you possibly can, if you could donate to this event, it would be wonderful, because we're a small independent venue and we really rely on people coughing up, really. And I'd like to suggest, when we went to Ireland, there was an awful lot of something around that we were offered all over the place that I thought, it cost about a fiver, and I thought, you know, something from Ireland, very, very Irish, that you could perhaps give the equivalent of, would be really, really nice. And of course, I'm talking about scones.
Oh,
Scones.
Scones.
Yeah.
Scones. Scones, we say.
Scone.
Scones. Oh, they have scones.
Yeah,
If
everywhere.
they're
Everywhere.
Irish, they're scones.
Are
Honestly.
they?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
But listen, but you can call them what you like.
With a cup of tea, around about a fiver. Yeah, if you could send around about a fiver, that would be absolutely brilliant. Now, if people at home in live stream land wanted to get your CDs, how could they do that?
If they email me at enda@endamccabe.com, right? And if they look up my website, endamccabe.com, now it's a bit, actually, I did put some new stuff up recently, but my contact details will be on there, you know?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
And thank
okay.
you, Mark.
You're going to sing us a song now?
I will. I'm going
Excellent.
to give you a choice, because although that story had, well, I suppose it had something to do with the next song. It really has not real connection, but two songs my mother used to sing at Hooley's in the McCabe household were I Know My Love. Anybody know that one? I Know My Love. And the other one was Carrickfergus. So which would you like?
Carrickfergus.
Carrickfergus. Okay. Well,
And then I Know My Love. Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
okay. Well, if that's what you want, you'll get it. Well, listen. Don't worry about the list. If you have something, listen, here's the way it works, right? If you have a request, right, write on the back of a tenner, okay? And if I can't do the song, I'll give you £5 back, all right? Anyway, no, if you have any requests, ask me. And if I can do them, I will. But we'll see. Have a chat with me at halftime. Anyway, now, could I also request a glass of water, please? Thank you. I'm going to stand up. Will I shove the mic up? I don't want to mess the sound. I can shove it up. Okay, thank you. That's great. Am I all right like this? Yeah, okay. Oh, I better get a note, because, you know, it does help if you get a note. Oh, Una, thank you so much. Yeah. Una from my hometown in Dublin. And pure, straight Ishka water. Anyway, here we go. Oh, let's get that note again. I wish that I was in Carrickfergus, only for nights in Ballygrand. The deepest ocean I would swim over, only for nights in Ballygrand. But the sea is wide, and I cannot swim over, and neither have I the wings to fly. If I could find me a handsome boatman to ferry me over, my love and I. My childhood days bring back sad reflections of happy days I spent so long ago. My boyhood friends and my own relations have all passed on now like melting snow. But I'll spend my days in endless roving. Soft is the grass, my bed is free. Oh, to be back there in Carrickfergus on that long road down to the sea. And in Kilkenny town it is reported, written in marble as black as ink. With gold and silver I would support her, but I'll sing no more now, for I need a drink. I'm drunk today, and I'm seldom sober. A handsome rover from town to town. But I'm sick now. My days are numbered. Come, all ye young men, and lay me down. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Morag wanted, I know my love, so do you know what? I think, have I, what time do you want me to finish, as a matter of interest?
Well, we'll draw the raffle at 25 past and then
Okay.
another song after that.
Okay, grand. So this is a kind of an homage to my late mother. How are we doing this one? Yeah. So and again, these are songs that my mother would sing at Hooley's anywhere, but we used to have Hooley's in our house, and I don't mind saying that. If it's fair to say that our house was a kind of a bit of a madhouse, you know, but I have to say, at these nights, they were great crack, and I don't remember ever any unpleasantness in any of these nights. So I have real fond memories of those nights. And obviously, and of course, when we were teenagers and we heard my mother singing Carrickfergus and I Know Me Love, we were thinking, you know, old hat, and you know. But of course, as soon as I got to England and started singing songs and playing stuff and going around playing, you soon go back to where you came from, don't you? You know, you're always looking to go back to where you came from. And these songs kept reverberating in my head. So I'm so pleased that I have these songs, you know. And there were other songs too, like, they used to sing things like, my heart is broken, but what say I? Joseph Locke. Do you remember Joseph Locke and all those songs? You know, things like that. My father's favourite was the Bold Gendarmes. We'll run 'em in, we'll run 'em in, we'll run 'em in, we'll run 'em in. 'Cause we're the Bold Johns. Anybody know that one? Look it up. Great song. Great song. And great memories, I have to say, great memories. Anyway, here we go. I know me love by his way of walking, and I know me love by his way of talking, and I know me love in his jacket blue. And if my love leaves me, what will I do? And still she cried, I love him the best, and the trouble my church can know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? There is a dance hall down in the Mardyke, and there me love, he goes every night, and he sits a queer one down on his knee. And don't you know that it bothers me? And still she cried, I love him the best, and the trouble mine church can know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? If my love knew I could wash and wring, and if my love knew I could weave and spin, I would weave a coat of the finest kind. But the want of money leaves me behind. And still she cried, I love him the best, and the trouble mine church can know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? I know me love is a handsome rover, and I know he'll roam the wild world over, and in dear old Ireland no longer tarry, and an English girl well he'll surely marry. And still she cried, I love him the best, and the trouble mine church can know no rest. And still she cried, bonny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? I know me love by his way of walking, and I know me love by his way of talking, and I know me love in his jacket blue. And if my love leaves me, what will I do? And still she cried, I love him the best, and the trouble mine church can know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? And still she cried, I love him the best, and the trouble mine church can know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? Thank you. Thank you. Well, that one is, that was a couple of things just in kind of homage to Nuala McCabe. Nuala Lennon McCabe, because she was a Lennon before she was ever a McCabe, you know. Oh yeah, here, this is just, oh yeah, I have to do this one. This is just, anybody here remember Sweeney's Men? No? Sweeney's Men were around in the 60s. You've heard of Andy Irvine, I take it? Andy Irvine was in Sweeney's Men. And I think there was a guy, Joe Dolan. Now, not that Joe Dolan, but I think he was from either Galway or Limerick. And was Johnny Moynihan? I think Johnny Moynihan might have been in Sweeney's Men as well. But anyway, they travelled around Ireland all over the place. And of course, they were busy, but it was hard making a living, you know, doing that stuff, you know. Like, they'd go into places and they'd be supporting a show band. Now, the show bands were probably 7-8 piece band with brass and everything, and they'd be doing a lot of covers and a lot of... But there were some big stars, you know, in Ireland among those, the likes of the other Joe Dolan. But... and so they wouldn't be getting an awful lot of money, so they had to be careful with their shillings. And they had an old van that used to take them everywhere with all the instruments. And of course, it was it wasn't great. And they were losing a lot of oil, you know. So they came up with this scheme that they wouldn't bother buying new oil because it wasn't staying in there long enough. So they started using second-hand oil, you know, stuff that had been taken out of cars having a service, you know. And it was said in those days that you could tell where Sweeney's Men were playing by the oil train. I hope you enjoy this. My heart tonight is far away across the rolling sea in that sweet mill town Malbay. It's there I'd love to be. So long ago, so far away, and nothing can compare. My heart tonight's in Ireland, in that sweet County Clare. In the town of Scariff, the sun was shining in the sky. When Willie Clancy played the pipes, sure the tears welled in my eyes. Many years have passed and gone since the times that we had there, but my heart tonight's in Ireland, in that sweet County Clare. My heart tonight is far away across the rolling sea, in that sweet mill town Malbay. It's there I'd love to be. So long ago, so far away, and nothing can compare. My heart tonight's in Ireland, in that sweet County Clare. That August in Kilrush, when the rains came rushing down, and our hotel was a hay barn on the outskirts of the town. We were all sick and feverish, and Dolan had the flu. But Johnny produced some whiskey, and the sun came shining through. My heart tonight is far away across the rolling sea, in that sweet mill town Malbay. It's there I'd love to be. So long ago, so far away, and nothing can compare. My heart tonight's in Ireland, in that sweet County Clare. Those nights, those nights in 6 Mile Bridge, when the songs and music flowed, and when it came to closing time, sure the lights were turned down low. And the sergeant from Collision, well, he'd buy us all one more, and we never left that pubby floor. The clock was striking 4. My heart tonight is far away across the rolling sea, in that sweet mill town Malbay. It's there I'd love to be. So long ago, so far away, and nothing can compare. My heart tonight's in Ireland, in that sweet County Clare. Lahinch, and then it's Diamond, Liscannor and Kilkee. But best of all was Milltown, and the music flowed so free. Willie Clancy from the County Clare, I am ever in your debt. For the sights and sounds of yesteryear are shining memories yet. My heart tonight is far away across the rolling sea, in that sweet Milltown Malbay. It's there I'd love to be. So long ago, so far away, and nothing can compare. My heart tonight's in Ireland, in that sweet County Clare. Oh, my heart tonight's in Ireland, in that sweet County Clare. And we all recall them good old days in that sweet County Clare. And we all remember Sweeney's men in that sweet County Clare. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. And another one?
Right. CD Maybell. Who is it? Oh, they haven't turned up. Do another one. Ah, Jeff. Well, I suppose I shouldn't I? Because they might be watching, mightn't they? Yeah, they might be. Yes, that would be annoying, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Here, tell you what. Do another one, I'll give you another CD, all right? All right.
Gerard. You are a sweetheart. One more song, please.
Okay. Listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for. Where's the? Okay, it doesn't matter. I want to thank you so much for your assistance in the first half. Of course, you realise that you've set yourself a very high standard for the second half, and I will expect you to maintain the same kind of standard. Okay, I think that'll do. Good enough for folk, is that what they say? Listen, I'm going to finish off, I'll do a couple of jigs. The Mist-Covered Mountain, and no, it's the Connachtman's Rambles and the Mist-Covered Mountain. Is Muireann there? Do you know them?
I do, yeah.
Come on. Do you mind if I'll do them a bit fast? Is that all right?
That's grand, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Come on, come up. Huh? Come on up here. Okay, you're not going to sit here beside me. Come on. Will that be all right? Is that okay? I'm sorry. I'm actually. I'm spoiling everything now, because everything is so well.
Sorry.
That's all right. You now listen. You take your time, because. So DNA minor, yeah. And then we'll go. Yeah, okay, great. Anyway, listen, you can see what kind of rehearsals we have in the traditional world. It's worse with Tim, actually. Sometimes he doesn't tell you what he's going to play, you know. But anyway. Well, that's true. Well, listen, he learned from the master, don't you worry. Anyway, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and... you married a soldier? What would you do when he followed the gun? What would you do if he died in the ocean? What would you do when he marry again? What would you do if the kettle boiled over? What would you do when he fill it again? What would you do if the cow with the clover? What would you do when he said it again? What would you do if the kettle boiled over? What would you do when he fill it again? What would you do if the cow with the clover? What would you do when he said it again? The ladies are in and the frost is all over. Kitty lie over the next to the wall. Me to be drunk and you to be sober. Kitty lie over the next to the wall. Ladies are in and the frost is all over. Kitty lie over tonight next to the wall. Me to be drunk and you to be sober. Kitty lie over tonight next to the wall. What would you do if you married a soldier? What would you do when he followed the gun? What would you do if he died in the ocean? What would you do when he marry again? What? Thank you very much. See you in the second half.
We're in bed! Yay! Fabulous! So it's my job now to say some thank yous. I'd like to thank Susie Humphreys, but she's had to go because she had to close a show. So yeah, thank you, Susie, for coming and talking to us. And please consider contributing to her good cause. I'd like to thank Roger, and I'd like to thank John and Phil and Una and everybody else who's helped this evening. Thank you very much. And next week we have Bird in the Belly. Has anyone seen Bird in the Belly? They come really, really well recommended by Jo Tufts. Who is the director of Broadstairs Folk Week, no less. So she's coming along, so that'll be great. And after that, we've got Ashen Keys, which will be fantastic. And then the following week, we've got Jem Stillaire and Saul Rose, who will be very, very good as well. I mean, you know, heavens. It's all great stuff. Thank you very much, everybody. And what? Yes, I know.
Oh, okay. You know, right.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And if I wasn't having a senior moment, which you've just pointed out, then it would be, I would have got away with it. Thank you. I'm really sorry. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. And I'll see you all next week. Bye. Bye.